Nobody ever wants to talk about the cost of valuing yourself, especially when you lived your whole entire life belittling yourself and lowering your standards and lowering your quality of life for the sake of other people and for the sake of what you think you deserved. Yeah, this is my first video, so I'm coming off very strong, but hi, I am Derek. Nice to meet you, nice to be here. This is just really heavy on my chest and my heart, and it's something that I wanted to share because it's something that I feel like I don't see enough of, and I wanted to share this because it's not something that I feel like is talked about a lot. You know, there's a lot of talk around culture. I mean, there's a lot of talk about there is a lot of talk around loving yourself and confidence and, you know, valuing yourself and knowing what you deserve. And all of that is amazing and lovely, but the reality of getting to that point actually is a lot harder than a lot of people on the internet make it seem that it is. Because I think you have to go through a lot of things to finally, and also do a little bit of self, like a lot of, you have to go through a lot of things and also do a lot of self exploration to finally start to understand that you do deserve better, that you are worth it, and that you are valuable inherently. Not because of what you give people, because of what you have, or because of things you may possess, but because you inherently are unique and you inherently are just valuable and you have something to bring and you deserve that respect and you deserve that, you deserve to be seen like that, you know what I mean? And it's true. I mean, it's true. And especially when you come from a childhood or, you know, relationships where that wasn't the standard. You didn't see people value themselves. People didn't talk about those things. You didn't see people show each other respect. You were grown up seeing people disrespect each other in relationships. You were grown up being disrespected yourself, whether that's at home, at school, with your friends. And you know, at some point, you that became the familiar. At some point, that became the familiar, and that is what you held on to, and that is the narrative that you told yourself. And that is something that I've been dealing with a long time because I'm realizing that a lot of the choices that I made and a lot of the men that I've dated and a lot of the jobs that I've worked at and a lot of the situations that I put myself in were because I did not value myself, because I did not respect myself. And that is hard in itself because you really have to take a really big look at yourself, see the patterns in your life, see what keeps showing up, and you have to face them and you have to realize them and you have to realize your part in those things and you have to realize what choices led you to that and what beliefs you had about yourself that made you believe that. You know what I mean? And it's not fun because, you know, you're stripped away from the illusion, you're stripped away from what was once familiar and was once in a weird way safe, and you're like, whoa, this is not for me anymore. I deserve better than this. I deserve respect and I deserve to feel safe and I deserve to feel loved and I deserve to feel all of these things. And while it's an amazing feeling, it's a journey. You know what I mean? You're still going to come across old patterns and old experiences, you know, until you learn how to navigate them. And it's also a lonely journey because I can't speak for the world, but not that many people are on it. You know what I mean? Not that many people are on that path. And there's going to be that temptation to settle, to go to what's familiar, to go to what you have already done, because guess what? You already know how that's going to turn out. So in a way, it's easier and safer to pick that, to choose that, because you already know the outcome of it. But you never grown up, or you've never really seen, or maybe moments, because I feel like we don't live our whole entire lives not doing that. But you know, spurts of it. I feel like we all see spurts of us standing in our power, but we never ground ourselves in it. And when you ground yourself in it, I mean, that's a whole new way of living, a whole new way of making choices, a whole new way of seeing yourself, a whole new way of seeing other people. Because when you value yourself, you also, it doesn't just become about you, but also the relationships that you have and the people you want to surround yourself with, and the love and the respect and the care and everything else that you want to show for them too. Because that's really important and that's really necessary. And it's just super important to realize that, because there's going to be that temptation to want to fall into that old way of living, that old way of being, those old guys. Like, I know for me, like, a big huge pattern that I see is chasing unavailable men. You know what I mean? Because it's safe. Like, oh, they're unavailable, I can't fully have them, but I'm going to continue to chase that because, they give me a false sense of safety, because I know that I actually don't have to commit. You know what I mean? But then I also do fall heavily for them, and then it's like, oh wait, hold up. They actually don't respect you, boo. They don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? They're using you for entertainment. Like, it's not what you think. And yeah, it's and realizing that it hurts. You're so human. Like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt your feelings, and it's gonna feel like, damn, why? But you can't fall into, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me? No, 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 no. Know who you are. Know what you what you can do. Know that you are more than capable of doing what you can't even imagine what you can do, because you can do it. And it comes with a lot of loneliness, and there's going to be moments where you might fuck up, or you might hit your ex up, or you might make a mistake or make a choice. It doesn't even necessarily have to be in relationships as well. It could be in jobs, because a lot of the time you can also find yourself in places, in workplaces, where these people don't respect you, where you're finding yourself in the same exact work dynamics and power dynamics, and you find yourself being devalued all the time. And that also shows up as well. It shows up in many ways, in the way you make choices, not showing up for yourself when you know in your heart you're capable of doing something, or you want to do something, but choosing not to, choosing to believe something else. That it shows up like that too. And that's hard. Like, for instance, like, I've always wanted to stand on the camera and talk and actually, like, make something of this. You know what I mean? And like I said, like, I mean, I was like, dude, I just felt hella inspired. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, like, show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. I think that's how you start to build that foundation for showing up for yourself. And the right people will show up, and the right things will show up. And then you'll also, and this is another thing that's hard to realize, but you'll also start to realize what you took for granted. Because it's not like, oh, I didn't value myself and life punished me for it. Because no, like, life is still beautiful, and we all have our own blessings. But you realize that because I was so focused on the toxic environment, or the person who was unavailable, or the lack of discipline, the lack of discipline, or anything, you start to take for granted people who were there for you the whole time, people who did show you that, places and environments that did show you that, you start to realize you took for granted yourself in a lot of ways. And I don't know, it's just, you have to face a lot of that work, but it passes too, and it's fuel as well. And it's not something to beat yourself up about. It's not something to make yourself feel small about, because that's a big thing. Like, we're human, we're all gonna make mistakes, it's going to happen, it is inevitable. You know what I mean? And it's about how you show up after those mistakes. And I think that's where, like, the respect comes from, because you don't want to come from that place of shame or guilt or, you know, anger. I mean, anger's good, but like you don't want to come from like, you know, resenting yourself, beating yourself up, or self-sabotage. No, it's time for us to do better. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. This is my first ever YouTube video. I'm very excited about it. I think I'm just gonna like press record and then hit upload and then post a link on the bio and hit the story up, because I mean, why not? I mean, if not now, then when? Because I've been contemplating this for so long, and I have not done it. And I feel like I hit my final straw, and I was like, you know what? I'm not about to go do no fuck shit. What I am gonna do though is do what I've wanted to do for a long time, which is this. So if people got you fucked up, if you got yourself fucked up, don't hold on to it. Do something and show up for yourself right now in this moment, period. And just believe in yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to think about the bigger picture. Just know that in this moment, you are showing up for yourself, and that is enough. And yeah, so if you watch this, thank you so much. I look forward to keep doing this. This was really fun. I wasn't expecting me to go off the way I did, but that's like the nice part about like creating and just following what inspires you. So I look forward to doing more of that. And yeah, thank you.